All right, joining us now, great dear friend Kellyanne Conway, former senior counselor to President Donald Trump, and author of the upcoming memoir, Here's the Deal. By the way, it's available for pre-order right now. Welcome, Kellyanne.
Oh, thanks for having me,
Appreciate
Larry.
it.
And happy anniversary to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You did have a better
much.
year than Biden. that is not a very high bar, but I think your approval rating is higher, and your understanding the economy is better, and your vivacity and integrity are certainly stronger. So congratulations. Many more.
Thank you. We've known each other a very long time, folks, and it's a delight. So one of the things that's interesting here on the Biden story, this is the year of our show, his polls have plunged faster and deeper than I think you're the political pollster person, but really than we've ever seen before in presidential history. I don't know if that's exactly true, but I've never seen a dump like this.
It's been precipitous, and it's been bitter for them in this way. He's had the trifecta of negative polling, Larry. Number one, people just lost confidence in his competence fairly early on. Afghanistan, the chaotic and deadly withdrawal there was probably the inflection point, but that was 6 months ago. And since then, people are more aggravated and disapproving of Joe Biden's performance and handling on issues they're telling pollsters are most important to them. Obviously, the cost of living, everyday necessities and consumables, inflation, the overall economy, security, insecurity, security at the southern border, chaos in Afghanistan, chaos now in Ukraine and Russia, chaos at the gas pump, chaos in the grocery store. But number two, his personal attributes have cratered. And that is something that other presidents, when they ran into trouble, could kind of count on. Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, even when their poll numbers sort of dipped down a little bit, they were always seen by a fair number of the public as, quote, has a plan, cares about people like me, is compassionate, has energy, is fit to do the job, inspires people. Joe Biden has none of that. And the third thing is, this is starting to affect his party. So he and his vice president have always been down in the dumps polling-wise, but the Biden challenges are now becoming the Democratic challenges. This is why you see 30 Democratic House members retiring and counting. And if I were advising the Republicans, and I do, for the fall, no prevent defense. Now's the time to tell the growing number of independents and lapsed Republicans who are Republicans again and proud of it. Now's the time to tell them what you stand for, who we are as a party, and how there's a bright line distinction between the two parties. Because the Gallup poll showed in December that you had, in 2021, you had the Democrats +9 in advantage on party ID, and now the Republicans are +5. That's a 14-point swing. So now's the time to go in there and make the Biden challenges Democratic challenges.
So that did a lot of those points I want to circle back to, but on that last point, I'm very pleased that the House Republicans are putting together a future plan, some of the Gingrich Contract with America plan, and Newt is pitching in, as are many of us. I'm going to have Senator John Thune come on in a few moments, a smart guy, a good guy, and encourage him that the senators should do the same thing. I mean, it would be very useful. It doesn't have to be a minute, detailed blueprint, but in general terms, you know, taxes, spending, inflation, crime,
immigration's up there now,
policy,
border security,
the borders, exactly right.
Energy is a huge one, and there you do see a bright line distinction. Look, for Senator Thune and the other sitting senators, it's a great idea, but it's a really great idea to do what we did in 1994 when I was a baby pollster in the mezzanine section helping Newt Gingrich and Frank Luntz with the contract with America. It's that you get the candidates to run on it also. So we'll always have many more candidates than we do sitting legislators in Washington, Larry. Get them to do it. That's what happened in 1994. People showed up at the Capitol steps September 27th, 1994, signed that contract with America, and said to America, we're going to vote on this in the first 100 days, and if we don't, you can throw us out. Why is this important? Because it's all happening 7 months before that this time. That's the thing about Biden. 2022, the midterms came together so much faster for the Republicans as an advantage for them to leverage than we've seen in, say, 2010 or 1994. It's just happening much sooner. So, but you've got to tell people what you're for. There's never been such a bright line distinction. You and I have a history in the Democratic Party. I don't even know, that party's long gone. We don't even recognize this Democratic Party. You showed the Quinnipiac poll where Democrats and Republicans fundamentally disagree on what the top issues even are.
I know, it's amazing. The Democratic Party went out with my book on supply-side Democrat John F. Kennedy.
Congratulations. That was called a twofer.
But why has Biden lost so much personal credibility and trust? I mean, that is part of his decline. And in some respects, that may be the worst part of his decline.
Oh, because people who didn't want to vote for Donald Trump, just didn't want Trump to be president anymore, treated Joe Biden like he was a blind date. And they made him everything that they wanted him to be. He's going to be smart. He's going to be a unifier. He's going to be moderate. And then, of course, he told us he was going to be all of those things. So he hasn't made good on the promise of those personal attributes would mean for the country, Larry. I'm going to unify the country. We've never been more divided. I'm going to be a moderate. He is a wholly owned subsidiary of what this Democratic Party has become, a bunch of socialists and radicals and liberals. And those aren't soundbite screeds. Look at their policies. And I think why some of these Democrats are retiring right now is because the personal attributes aren't enough to overcome their poor policies. And it's not that they're afraid of losing their seats necessarily. Some of the Democrats retiring in safe Democratic seats. Not that they're afraid of losing, Larry. I think they're afraid of getting out there and defending socialism and radicalism. Right. But Joe Biden's personal attributes, it also comes down to this. People thought he was very warm and accessible. He's lunch bucket Joe from Scranton. He's sort of a jerk. He's got a bad temper. Yep. He cursed out your colleague, Peter Doocy. Yep. He had said, people forget, in the 2020 campaign, at some point he said, I'd like to get Donald Trump behind a gymnasium and punch him. Who speaks like that?
And he gets up. It's so weird. Like yesterday, I mentioned this in my opening. He gets up yesterday and says there's going to be some energy costs, and then he warbles on for 2 paragraphs, and no human being could understand what he was saying.
No idea. It's not credible.
He's not saying anything.
It's not credible, so it's not compelling, which means it's not compassionate and it's not connective tissue. The other thing about him is he's a creature of Washington. So give this country their due, beginning with President Obama in 2008 and then with Trump President Trump in 2016. They went for somebody who had very little Washington experience or none at all. Mm-hmm. And they swung back, or they said, wait, maybe we need a course correction. We'll get Joe Biden. He's been in Washington for 47 years. And now they're saying, wait, did we really do that?
That's right.
How was that a good idea?
Sorry,
so everything
mistake.
Voters, but Larry, particularly independents who call themselves independents because they don't like Washington, they don't like politics, they don't like all of this. They have, the center has totally created for Joe Biden. Independents left him. And it's partly because they realized this guy is a creature of Washington. It's the wrong kind of experience. What did we do?
Yep.
That's why it'd be very hard for him to get reelected again, but I hope he runs again.
Well, we got to get out. You're wonderful to come on.
You're the greatest.
I know you're going to be on Gutfeld later because he's great. I've even done that one a few times myself.
You're funny.
I will say one thing. I'm proud of the American people. If these polls are remotely true, I'm proud of the American people because they are rejecting this extreme radical
They're showing
big
up,
government
speaking
socialism.
up, and they will stand up.
That's just wonderful.
They're paying attention.
The cavalry's coming. I really believe that. Kellyanne Conway, everybody, great pleasure to see you.